Welcome to a product review video. It's been a little bit of time since I've done one of these, and today I'm going to show you a new pair of running sneakers that released late last year. It's called the On Cloudrunners. And to zoom up here, these are a new running shoe. I guess these are the waterproof version of the On Cloudrunner, so they have the waterproof labeling on them. To show around a little bit of what this shoe is here, to zoom in a little bit closer, we've got here a breathable but waterproof meshing on the top surface. The gripper here is a little bit different compared to my On Cloudflyer waterproofs, which I will show here in just a moment. And I just took these pretty much fresh out of the box. I'm going to need to make a few adjustments for these before I start running in them just shortly here in a couple of minutes. But wanted to show around what this shoe is. And how does this compare to the On Cloudflyer waterproofs that I have? So I have a little bit of an older version here, but as you can kind of see, I would say the On Cloudflyers have these bigger, they're known for these cloud bubbles. I think these Cloudflyers are a little bit bigger compared to the Cloudrunners. I think these sit a little bit higher on the ground, but it's going to be the same 9mm toe drop. And they say on their website, as I look through the smartphone here and their web app, is that this usage is mainly just for road running, but apparently these are more for middle of the range runs. But I'm going to put these for the test for 11 miles today to see what it's about. These are supposedly about 50 grams lighter, so they say on their website here 238 grams, or I think for a size 9, compared to 292 grams for their size 9 in the Cloudflyer waterproof. They say this is going to be mainly for wet weather, of course for typical runs, medium runs, but I'm going to see what happens if they do. These are good for long runs. The other shoes with the Cloudflyers, they say that it's a little bit more versatile, but I'm also going to test that out. And looking outside here in a wet, typical Seattle winter weather, it's kind of going to be the perfect environment to go and test out these new shoes here. And to see whether or not these are really more or less up to snuff when it comes to facing on with some wet weather coming on. So I'm going to warm up here. I've got my massage gun, and I'm going to do a little bit of dynamic stretching and mobility exercises, and I'll take you out there with me to try these new shoes on. I'm on the Burkman Trail here, just a little over 8 miles. Not a fast run for me today, but so far, shoes are holding up relatively well, though a little bit of pain on the toe area, but I think that's because of the way how I've tied the laces. I would say so far I've done easy steady state miles, which have been really good so far with these shoes. You get into a rhythm, but a slow rhythm at that. So this is not a shoe that I would recommend for like high intensity workouts. I would say it's better for longer distance running or just slower running in general. Getting a good rocker feeling, but so far it's pretty comfortable. Everything about me is, well, kind of soaked with the rain, except for the feet, which is not a bad thing. I like my feet a little bit dry, so the waterproofing is certainly doing its thing. And I'm going to take a little bit easier here. Probably running still too fast, even though I'm running much slower than my normal pace of my long runs, running roughly like 8-minute 40 pace average, and I normally am around the 7:50, but that's okay. I'm just trying to get back into it. So again, these shoes so far pretty good. I know my running form's not the best. I'm trying to get back into it, and doing 11 miles of running is one way to do it. And I'll see you back at home base. I've now finished my run after I've, of course, cleaned up and showered and also cleaned up these shoes a little bit. And to give a little bit of a summary of my thoughts on the On Cloudrunners, I would say that this shoe is still a good shoe. Even though I said during the run where I don't know if this is going to really be good for super long runs, I think it's a matter of breaking these shoes in a little bit further. One thing to note, for sizing, I do recommend that you at least go a half size up from your true foot size, if not one size up. I know I wear, like, my natural foot size is 10.5. I wear Hoka shoes that are size 11, and these are 11.5. And the same with my other Cloudflyer waterproofs, which are also 11.5. So I think wear at least a half size up, if not one size up from your original true foot size, and I think that'll be the right fit for you for these shoes. So I want to first point that out. Another thing as it relates to the type of running that I would recommend in these shoes, I would say these are best for long, steady state running where you don't really have to worry so much on the push out. Where here, when I'm doing the push out, there's a lot of rigidity here, which is good, but it's kind of a dull rigidity instead of one that's live and snappy. These shoes are not very snappy shoes, and nor were these designed or intended to be. And because of that, I would not recommend these for interval workouts or doing sprints. I was trying to do a couple of intervals during the long run, and I just really couldn't get anything out from these shoes. So I would say these are more for steady state, long or even middle distance running that is meant for you to just hold a steady rhythm. So that's what I would really recommend these shoes for. These are also really good walkers. I think that the overall grip of these shoes are really good. I would say that there was no problem when it came to a lot of puddles. The waterproofing worked really well for these. If there was anything, the rest of my body was more or less soaked through from the rain, but my feet were dry in these, and that's the intent of these shoes. So yeah, I would say these shoes are pretty good. Again, I would not recommend these for interval distance or extremely long distance running because these are a little bit on the flat side and they don't have the same type of snap. But again, that's more or less what these shoes are designed for, just as kind of what they say on the website. And there you go. Those are my first impressions of these. With that, if you like the content of this video, then please go and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit the bell notification to get more of videos that I go and stream on pretty much on a weekly basis is what I'm trying out for 2023. And of course, leave a comment down below if you have a pair of these shoes or are wanting to ask a couple of other questions. And the last thing I have is a disclaimer. So On the brand has not sent me these. This review is that of my opinion and that of my opinion only. I'm not being paid by On Cloud to go and demo these shoes for them. This was just something that I've done on my own. So until the next one, Yoshi out.